Shalom, shalom, y'all. It's your yeah. Who can John? We out here. It's about time, man. I give my testimony, man. Just share what's happened in my life, cause it's a lot of people that knew Trey, T Mac. You know what I'm saying? The Wild Boy. And I know a lot of people wondering, like, who is this Yehukanan character that done popped up? Well, for one, it's not a character. It's who I was meant to be all this time. I never knew. It's what I was searching for, and I never knew I was searching for. It's Yahuwah. And the path to get here was wild. Like, I'm a hard-headed individual in the natural. And I'm just blessed to have a testimony that's really undeniable. Like, can't nobody shake me when it comes to my faith, my emunah, and Yahuwah, because when I tell you he snatched me out of all my wickedness so quick, so abruptly, like, I was full-blown alcoholic, smoking cigarettes. If I had the opportunity, I was doing drugs. Once I left El Paso, I pretty much stopped the drugs and stuff, but I was still drinking heavily and smoking. You know, perversion, the porn, the masturbation, all that stuff, like, just wilding. I had some experiences with my dreams. I'm a dreamer, so like that's how I see most of my stuff when it comes to like the spiritual realm. And I was listening to rock music at one point. I had started getting into like heavy metal. I was super depressed, and I had started getting into like heavy metal and all that stuff, and I found this one band. They were pretty hard, like musically they were pretty hard, and I was bumping, and like in their videos they're eating flesh and like drinking blood, but I'm thinking like, okay, like it's just part of the videos. I started reading, and these folks was really eating people. They're like some Russian band or something. Like, these folks was really practicing cannibalism, eating people, sacrificing people, drinking their blood. And I'm listening to this music, drinking too on top of that. So I'm drunk, just opening myself up to all this stuff. And that same night, I started listening to them. I go to sleep, and the music just started playing like clear as day in my ear. Like, I had my headphones in still. And I'm just like, what in the world? And I'm in a sleep paralysis, so I can't move. Paralysis. So I can't move or nothing. Like, so I start, you know what I'm saying? When you get scared, you run to what you know, man. That's one thing that's going to happen. You're going to run to that default. So I just started praying what I did know. In the name of Jesus, let me go, da, da, da. Popped out of the sleep paralysis. Got up, started praying, started what I know now is warring, but at that time I didn't know what. I was just scared. So I just started praying, whatever. I didn't know what was going on. And I started just hearing stuff like to tell my mom that she don't have to fight for me no more, because that at this time God had me. So when he got me where he needed me, I was gonna die. But to tell my mom she didn't have to fight for me no more. And I said, what? I started crying, yo. I started bawling. And I went and I told my mom, I was like, hey, I don't know what this means. I'm crying. I don't know what this means. Da, da, da. Like, but like, God's telling me, like, you don't have to fight for me no more. Like, he got me, and when he gets me where he needs me, I'm gonna die. And blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking I'm gonna die. Like, I'm like, I don't know what it means, but he said, don't be scared, because he got me. Like, ain't nothing gonna happen to me until I fulfill his purpose, blah, blah, blah. So then, boom. Keep doing what I'm doing, though. Kind of ignore it. Keep moving on. You know what I'm saying? And then I have a dream, because I had abandoned my kids, man. I am still legally married. I'm working on that. But I had abandoned my kids, man. I had left everything, because things had got pretty ugly. and I wasn't in contact with my kids or anything. And praise Yahuwah for bringing that back together. But yeah, man, I had a dream like maybe a couple months after that experience, and I was in school, and I was in the hallway like flirting with girls, chilling, like, you know what I'm saying, being a popular kid, being cool, whatever. And then we get to class, and I'm in class sitting down, flirting, chilling with the female, and I look across the classroom and I see my kid's mother, and she has all the kids around her, and they're screaming and crying and stuff going crazy for her, and she can't calm them down, she can't get it under control. And I'm across the classroom caught up in my mess, and I'm looking at her wanting to help, wanting to be there, but there's nothing I could do. Like, I was just caught up in what I was doing. And then the teacher came in, started teaching, and she said, clear as day, the zizit is the answer to everything. And I woke up. And that's all that stuff. The zizit is the answer to everything. And I'm just like, what? What is a zizit? So I look up zizit on Google, Z-I-T, Z-I-T. I look up zizit, and then the scripture comes up talking about how they wore the zizit. I'm still saying zizit at the time. They wore the zizit on the four corners, look upon them, remember the commandments, all that. So I'm like, all right. All I got from it was, all right, maybe God's telling me I need to start reading my Bible more. I don't know. Told my dudes, hey, like, I had this dream. I guess God's telling me I need to start reading my Bible more, blah, blah. All right, cool. Still kept doing what I was doing. I ain't really, like, I'm taking it serious, but I'm not getting into it because I don't really understand what's going on. So, like, this stuff is abstract to me at this time. Fast forward, though, something happened. Because I was into my zodiacs heavy. Like, I used to proclaim to be an Aries, which I don't know more, but I even had, like, my dream tattoo was to get a ram on my neck and then have the horns like wrapped around the sides of my neck. Like, that was my dream tattoo. And I had gave that up already. I had wrote it off as evil, all that, gave that up, right? And then somehow the conversation of yoga came up and how yoga is evil or whatever. And I don't know what, like, I have no interest in doing yoga. This is how I know it was something happening in me, because I had no interest in doing yoga or nothing like that. But for some reason, it just pissed me off when I heard that yoga was evil. It was just like, why does everything have to be evil? Why does everything have to be satanic or demonic or whatever? So I just started going in, yoga's not evil, da 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 da, blah, 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 arguing about it, like having a whole debate about something I don't even know about. I was just irritated hearing everything was evil. So I went in my little meditation space at the time, because I used to meditate and pray to myself and tell myself I was God and all that crazy crap that they teach you out there in the spiritual world. And I went in my little meditation space, sat down, and I was upset at the time. I was just like, man, you know what? Whoever you are, whatever you are, like, just show me the truth. Like, I don't care what it is. I don't care what I got to give up. I don't care how it happens. I just want the truth. I just want what we really supposed to be doing in this life. Like, that was my prayer. Like, I just hit that point to where I didn't care what it was. I wasn't scared to lose nothing. I was already at a point where I had lost it all. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't scared to lose nothing. I was like, I'll give up whatever. I'll do whatever. Like, I just want the truth. Got up, left that where it was. I tell you, maybe 2-3 weeks after that prayer, everything started shaking up at my job. They were starting, like, construction. They were shutting down the building I was working in. So I was getting moved to another building. I was getting moved to overnights. I was about to quit because they were moving me to overnights. But I was like, nah. Well, I didn't say it. The ladies at my job was like, nah, like, give it a shot at least. And then if you don't like it, then, you know what I'm saying, move along. But anybody that know me, like, I believe in Indeed. So I'm going to get up out of there if I don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm better at now. You know what I'm saying? Praise Yahuwah again. But anybody that know me, man, I'll leave a job in a second and go find something else. I'm I'm gonna get another job. I don't never be worried about that. So like, I was ready to go. They're like, nah, give it a chance. See if you like it at least, and then if you don't like the overnights, then just go on, skedaddle. So I'm like, all right, bet. I'll give it a shot, at least, like, see if I like it or not. So I start working overnights, and I don't know nobody there. It's one face that's familiar. And the only reason his face was familiar was because we had one other encounter, maybe like a few months before that. And he thought I was listening to some meditation music or something that my music was nowhere near. So I really believe it was just Yahuwah making that connection so this could happen. But he thought I was listening to something. He came to me like, hey, were you listening to this? I was like, nah, I want to listen. I don't even know what that is. I thought you were listening to that. Nah, all right, cool. Split ways. We never spoke again, nothing like that. But because of that interaction, months passed, I knew his face. So now I'm on overnights. We get downtime. Everybody usually go around, chop it up, hang out. I don't know nobody. So he the only face that's familiar that I know I've had an interaction with before. So I go start chopping it up with the op. And somehow I start telling him about how I'm trying to pray more, you know what I'm saying, get closer to God, all that. And he like, all right. He was like, who you pray to? I was like, God? Like, what you mean, who I pray to? And he was like, but like, what's his name? My bad, y'all. Mosquito just got my hand. He was like, but what's his name? And I was like, God? What do you mean? Like, he was like, nah, I was just wondering like what his name was. He was like, it ain't no big deal. I was like, I was just wondering. And like, he had like a little smirk on his face, and I'm just like, all right, like, bruh tripping a little bit, but he cool though. Like, he cool. So we keep chopping it up, whatever. And then maybe like a few days later, I dap him up one day at work. And he come back to me like, hey man, I don't know what this means, but I'm gonna just be obedient and tell you. But he was like, when I dapped you up, I got a little headache. And the Most High was telling me to tell you to be careful of the knowledge that you seek. So I was just like, what? And in the back of my head, I'm thinking like, he don't even know what I be into. So how did he know to tell me to be careful of the knowledge that's? Because I was into like 48 laws of power, laws of seduction, law of attraction, all that stuff. Like, I was reading into all that stuff. And I used to watch like 19 Keys, Mike Rashid, like all them spiritual people. I was real close to proclaiming to be a Muslim. Real close. And yeah, so I went home that night. And right after he gave me that word, and I started watching, like, my normal routine was to start drinking and watch my little podcast or whatever. So I started watching 19 Keys, and it's just not hitting no more. It's something off. I'm like, this don't feel right no more. Because every time he was talking, all I heard was I, like all the I's were emphasized. And I was realizing he wasn't talking about no higher power. Like, he was pretty much saying he was the higher power. So I was just like, yo, he tripping. So I turned them off. I went and started watching Yaki Awaken. You know, the little health dude that be into all the herbalists and all that stuff. So I started watching him. And the same thing, like, he kept saying, like, the I's. Every time he said I something, like, it was just, like, emphasizing in my ear. And I'm just like, he ain't saying nothing about no Most High, no higher power, or whatever. Like, well, this time I'm saying God. So, like, he ain't saying nothing about God. So I'm just like, man, this ain't right. So I remember the Ak had told me about this docu-series called Reclaiming the Throne. So at that point, I'm like, man, ain't none of this stuff hitting. So let me turn this on. Turned on Reclaiming the Throne, man. When I tell you, the first 30 minutes, that mug hit everything that I believed in. Everything. The whole Egyptian stuff, how we be with the Ankh and all that stuff, like everything that most black people think, like the Nubian queens and kings and all that stuff. We are gods and goddesses and all that foolishness that we believe. Because that's the closest thing we could find to when we were like people our color were in power. And it hit all that stuff, like broke it all down, explained it all. And it was just like, yo, I never, like, it would have never crossed my mind that the Bible was my history. I had wrote it off. I was like, man, this stuff ain't real. It's too many contradictions. Like, I done seen too much dirt in the church. Ain't no way. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I would have never guessed the history we've been searching for all this time was hidden right in our faces. And they perverted it and marked it with Christianity. So then at this point, I'm going in. I just start watching the docuseries. And I'm just eating it up. I go back to the op. And he like, what would you say if I told you you were an Israelite? I'm already past that. Like, I believe that at this point. But what does it mean? Because now I want to know what this means. Because you ain't about to just tell me I'm an Israelite and then I ain't, you know what I'm saying? So we start chopping it up. I tell him about the dream, all that stuff. And then he finally told me the correct way to say it. It was the zeet. The dream was about a zeet. And yeah, man. I even told him about the part where he said I was gonna die when he got me where he needed me. And he was able to even break that down for me. Like, a death isn't always like a physical thing. Like, there's a such thing as like a spiritual death. So pretty much I was gonna die to myself the way that we're supposed to. And start walking for Yahuwah. So then, yeah, man, he started using the name Yahuwah, Yahusha, all that stuff. And I'm just like, all right, I'm eating it up. He put me on the YouTube. Got on the YouTube. And the first series I watched was the Deliverance series, Rebirth of a Nation. So at this point, I'm gonna make it clear. This is two things. I'm killing two birds with one stone here, because I'm giving my testimony, explaining what's happening, how I got to where I am, how Yahuwah has worked in my life. But at the same time, bro, if there is anybody out there that's questioning the legitimacy and the servitude of rebirth of a nation, Hebrew nation building, when it comes to Yahuwah, there's no question about it. Like, I wouldn't be where I am right now if it weren't for the work that they've done in Yahuwah. Because what they've built, something that's real, that's based in truth, that's all based off of scripture. It ain't everything. You can't talk to them about nothing and it not go back to scripture. And that's what drew me in, because it wasn't it wasn't like in the church, they'll read one little scripture and then they'll just ramble off for a whole hour and a half and not go back to the book at all. It's like, nah, I'm gonna tell you this, boom, 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 and let me prove it to you. And every 2-3 scriptures at least, like witnesses, witness. It's precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, all that. So this is also showing the cabal, the glory that's on Rebirth of a Nation because of their obedience to Yahuwah. It's not about no man. It's not about nobody having no power or none of that stuff. Like, it's all about serving Yahuwah. And if you don't have that mindset that I want to serve Yahuwah, you ain't gonna make it there. And that's, we ain't gonna get into all that, but just saying, like, this John real. So yeah, man, I got into my first series I watched from Rebirth of a Nation was the Deliverance series. And he said in there, he was like, the study of this is gonna bring you an encounter. And I'm like, all right. I'm thinking like way down the line, like I'll probably come across something. Bruh, I finished, it's a 3-part series, 3 videos. I finished that John on one Shabbat, and this is probably like 2 weeks into me coming into the truth that I'm an Israelite. Like, I'm Hebrew. The Bible is my history. 2 weeks in, I finished this series, and that I finished it on one Shabbat, and then that Sunday I got up doing my normal thing, you know what I'm saying, going to the bathroom. I'm sitting on the toilet, not to give too much information, but I'm sitting on the toilet, and I start feeling something in my stomach, and I'm just like, nah, this don't feel normal. Like, it didn't feel like trying to go to the bathroom, so I just start praying. I remembered the video, you know what I'm saying? So I just start reciting some of the stuff I remember from the video, and I just started praying, all that. And then as I'm praying, like, my head just started like, jerking back. And I'm just like, yo, like, I thought I was tweaking at first, but I'm just like, nah, like, I'm really, like, I'm not in control of this. Like, my head just flying back. And then my mouth just started opening. So, like, my head flying back, my mouth opening up, and I'm just like, so it took my mouth. Like, I couldn't pray no more. And at that point, I kind of panicked, so I'm just like, yo, like, what's going on? So I stopped, you know what I'm saying, get up, clean, whatever. And then I call my dude, because that was, when you get scared, you gonna go to that default. You know what I'm saying? So I call my dude. I'm like, hey, and I'm crying too. I be crying, y'all. But I'm like, hey, like, I don't know what's going on. I'm getting something out. I gotta get it out. Like, I need y'all to help me get it out. So then, like, she called my pops. They come and they lay hands on me. And I'm telling it the whole, like, at this point, I'm telling it the whole time, like, cause it didn't came up to my chest, but it's sitting there. Like, that's when my mouth got took, and I didn't know what to do at that point, cause I'm 2 weeks in, y'all. Like, I'm not even on nothing like that. So I'm like, how is this happening? So they lay hands on me, and they start praying, and then that just, and I just started screaming, and snot and spit and all types of stuff going on, man. And after that, I just felt like this state of shalom, like this state of peace. And I just, like, my head just dropped, and I was just there. And it was just like, yo, that was when I saw the separation between the natural and the spiritual realm. Because while all this is going on, my natural mind is still there, like, watching this. Like, I'm watching myself get delivered, because my head, I'm back there like, yo, why are we screaming? What are you doing, bro? Like, you tripping right now. I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, we really doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, my head is there. But at that point, it was something spiritual going on to where my body wasn't in my control. That junk just had to go. You know what I'm saying? So, boom. At that point, I was already convinced I was an Israelite. You know what I'm saying? And now I see the spiritual realm is real. So this is what I mean when I say, like, Yahuwah gave me a testimony that's undeniable, because all that stuff happened so quick, and I could never deny this. I could never say it's not real. So now it's a matter of, okay, I know I'm an Israelite. I know the spiritual stuff is real, like these ruachs and these demons and all this. I know deliverance and all that is real. Now, still, what does this mean? What does this mean? So that's where, like I said, Rebirth comes in, because I started searching for, like, different teachings. And like I said, I had already started watching Rebirth, but I'm the type, I like to get, like, different perspectives, hear different voices, hear different styles of teaching, all that. So I started looking around, trying to find, like, what all this stuff really means, and all the camps and all the different ministries and all that stuff. All they out here talking about is we the people, we the people, we the people. Esau gonna get it. Esau gonna die, and they gonna be our servants and kiss my shoes, and they gonna lick our toilets and all that. And I'm just like, hey, yo, like, this can't be it. Cause over here they talking about something called aruka and healing the inner child and schizophrenia and all types of stuff. But then I come over here and we the people. Okay, but what do that mean, we the people? Like, do we just sit here and say we the people and wait? Like, I don't think that's how it works. That ain't what the scriptures say, at least. So I kind of knock everything off and just lock in on Rebirth. Start going through their teachings. I'm talking about going in, taking notes, saying the prayers, doing the work, going in. And from there, you know what I'm saying? Now a year and a half later now, we here. I'm sober. I don't smoke cigarettes no more. I'm abstinent. I'm back in my kids' life. I understand what it is to be a man. I'm in the process of finding my function in Yahuwah and really learning to walk this thing out, man. And that's all because I had righteous examples and righteous leaders to show how to really do this walk, how to really be humble, how to really have humility, how to be confident, but at the same time not walk around boasting like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. So I just praise Yahuwah, man. Like, anybody that knew Trey or T-Mac, I want y'all to know, like, this stuff is real, man. He could do it for you too if you really seek him, if you really want it. And being a good person ain't enough. Because I was a good person. Like, I had my flaws and I did my dirt. But anybody that knew me knows, like, I was always a good person. You know what I'm saying? So that's not enough, man. Having morals ain't enough. Providing financially and being there for your family ain't enough if you not serving Yahuwah, man. That's just the truth of the matter. Like, there's only one Elul, one God, one true Most High Elul, and that's Yahuwah, man. And only by the grace of his son Yahusha do we have the opportunity to get these things right. So I'm just here to tell y'all, like, this stuff real, man. This stuff real. And we in some crazy times. Like, if y'all wondering what's going on in the world and all that stuff, read the scriptures. Because it's all prophesied, man. It's all there in the book. And now that it's happening in real time, there ain't no denying it. So, with that being said, shout out to Rebirth. We're going to give an eternal honors to Yahuwah and Yahusha. We're going to give an infinite honors to Chief Melech Musha and Chief Melech Yahusha. And we're going to give a double honors to Malka Kayil and Malka Yada. All honors and double honors to where it's due, man. I love Rebirth. I love y'all. Toda for your diligence and being a righteous example of how to serve Yahuwah. And yeah, man, I'm gonna keep on saying it. If you haven't watched it, go on Tubi or Amazon Prime and watch Reclaiming the Throne. If you have watched it, go back and watch it again because there's something in there that you missed. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom, shalom. It's your Ak. Yeah, Hookana John. And we out here. Shalom.